Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to the Bounty Hunter series here in Elite Dangerous. In today's episode, we have a couple of basically the go scan the things and then find the person and kill them missions, the ship-based ones. Because unfortunately, the place that we're at, we don't have a lot of reputation with the station factions that are here, so we're kind of having to rebuild all of that up again. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a couple of these expansion reports and kill, basically killing terrorists by going to scan a settlement beacon, and then that'll tell us what system they're in. So, I'm not a big fan of that particular process. I'd rather just go in, go find them, and move on, but this is what we got. Today, I did want to take a little bit of time to kind of give you guys an idea of what I think the future of my Elite Dangerous content might be. I've been talking recently about possibly restarting the Deep Space Carrier series, and I'm interested in doing that, but I have a couple of details that I want to keep in mind before I really sit down and make a decision. Now, first and foremost, I absolutely will not be doing anything related to that until the Panther Clipper is released for credits rather than being in early access. I need the Panther Clipper to come out of early access because I do want to acquire the Panther Clipper, but I am not paying real-world money for that ship because it's not something that I am personally going to be using very much. And especially if we go out into the black again with our carrier, I mean, we don't really have a use for it in that scenario, especially because one of the reasons I've seriously considered returning to the Deep Space Carrier series is because we now have a dedicated mining ship, and while that mining ship isn't nearly as awesome as I'd like it to be to make, you know, the kind of travel that we wanted to get done sustainable, it's enough that I can accept a compromise of maybe doing, you know, 1 jump a day versus 3 jumps a day, and that will drastically reduce the overall mining time that I would have had to do anyway, and then with the Prospector being much faster, ideally, it'll get it to where the amount of mining that I have to do every week to sustain the kind of travel that I'm hoping we can do will be something that I can live with, and, you know, that kind of thing. Because my issue with the Carrier series before was I was having to spend, like, 2 to 3 hours a week outside of, you know, just the actual content and stuff we were trying to focus on, just mining tritium for the Carrier. And a part of, you know, a decent amount of the function of that was just the fact that I was trying to cover a lot of distance-ish. I don't feel like it's a lot of distance, but, you know, 1,500 light years a day is, I guess, comparatively a lot of distance. I don't know. I wanted to be making some serious progress through the galaxy as we were doing all of our exploration stuff. But I guess I can live with kind of a slower progress. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I really didn't want to have to commit to, like, years of... Because I want to do, like, a loop around the galaxy. And doing 1 jump a day is, like... It's going to take forever. It's going to take forever to do a loop around the galaxy doing 1 jump a day. That's just kind of the way that it is. So we'll do it for as long as we can until I get tired of doing it. But at any rate, we're not doing anything until the Panther Clipper becomes available. Hold on, I gotta focus here because we need to get our scan here. We're gonna accrue a fine again. Let's see, where is target security access? I just need to get... Oh, that sucks. We're not gonna find. Is there no security here? Is that what's going on? Okay. Just making sure we're getting the right one here. And we don't even have to boost out of the planet here. First and foremost, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. I saw the green color there and it was confusing me. I thought it was like a rendering problem, but it's actually the paint on our ship. We're not doing anything carrier related, assuming I decide to do that. I still haven't made a final decision on it, but we're not doing anything carrier related until the Clipper becomes available for credits, because I'm just not paying cash for something I'm never really going to use for anything. Even here in the bubble, I don't do trading, so I don't really need it, and I can't feature doing that. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm waiting for that to become available for credits, and then, you know, I'll buy the base version of the Prospector, get it fully kitted and engineered and all of that stuff. Then we'll grab the carrier and head out into deep space and hope for the best. Now, one of the big considerations that is making me hesitate to do the Deep Space Carrier series again right now, even though I kind of want to, is we don't know what the new feature is going to be. Now, we're getting some heavy hints with this whole timeline that's happening with the you know, the exobiology related like storyline that we got recently, where we had to follow that scientist around and try to figure out what's going on with her. But that's not a guarantee that we're getting anything. That's not a guarantee that has anything to do with the new feature. And while I'd love for that to be the case, where, you know, we get a whole bunch of new stuff to scan and maybe some new mechanics and a massive upgrade to the exploration side of the game, there's just no way to know. There's no way to know what it's going to be, and we're probably not going to find out until the end of the year, because that's when they've been releasing the information about the new features. So this, I know they want it to be a surprise. You know, they want to save a surprise for, hey, this might be something really cool. Wait for the end of the year. Keep playing and keep paying attention until it's making it very difficult to make plans for the future, because my decision as to whether we're going to go and do the Deep Space Carrier series highly depends on what is this new feature that they're going to be releasing. If it's something bubble related, and I want to do it, I don't want to be halfway out into the galaxy when they release it and then find out, oh man, now we got to take our carrier all the way back so that we can participate in this new feature, because man, it's super cool, right? But if it's ship interiors and we get, if it's ship interiors and we basically get that automatically, or it's an update to the exobiology stuff, well then, if it updates while we're out there, we'll get the benefits while we're out there, and cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the lack of information from the developers right now, because they want to hold on to this secret as long as possible, which, you know, I understand to some extent, but like, if you have, I would much rather they just let me know that they have a plan so I can make my plans for the future. And it's kind of frustrating right now, because I have things that I'd like to do, but we're too close to the end of the year, and we're too close to these new things that are going to be coming out. And since I don't know what they are, it just makes it very difficult to make a plan. Right? So I'm just kind of having to, like most of my life feels like, I feel like I'm just sitting around marking time and waiting for something to happen, because it's always something on the horizon. It's never right now. It's how my life just always feels. There's always something on the horizon that I'd love to happen, and we're just never able to get to that part, because the things I need just don't materialize. It's super frustrating. All right, I do believe that this is our guy. Distracted, so boom, boom, boom. And that takes care of him. All right, moving on to this guy here. And we're going right back to where we were. It's probably the same settlement, too. It's probably the same settlement. So, yeah, it's just, I like to keep you guys updated on my thought processes, because unlike the developers, I would like to let you guys know what I'm thinking, what my plans are, so that you guys can decide if that's something that's interesting to you, or you can provide some feedback. Now, you do have to be a channel member or a public subscriber for me to see your comments, because I filter out everybody else, because I don't need all that negative crap, and I don't need to be reading all of that negative. I want them to post the negative crap because it's engagement, but I don't want to read it. I don't want to be exposed to it. I don't want to hear anybody's BS about, oh, I don't like your opinion on this. You know, if you're a channel member and you're a public subscriber, even if you disagree with me, you're probably going to be fairly reasonable about it. Because, you know, if you went out of the way to subscribe to my channel and, you know, make it public, or if you're a channel member, that means you like my content, you like me as a content creator, so you're going to be nice to me with your, like, I'm fine with positive, constructive feedback. You know, you could be better about doing something this way or something like that. I don't need the assholes who just say, you suck and I don't want to, and you need to die and blah, blah, blah. I don't need any of that crap. We have enough negativity in our life. I don't need to be exposed to that. So that's why I have those requirements. You have to be a public subscriber. That's the free way to get in touch with me if you want to. And if you're a channel member, then you obviously get priority access to me, like, all the time. Because I respond, those comments show up first, and then I swap my filter to the public subscribers. So anyways, I just want to make sure you guys, I brought up corresponding with me. That's how you correspond with me. So yeah, the big thing, the Bounty Hunter series is interesting, but again, there's not enough. They haven't put enough in it for it to be for it to be interesting, right? And one of the ways that it could be interesting, and I've talked about this before, and I guess I'll talk about it again because we got some time to talk. One of the ways that they could make the bounty hunting process interesting is to make you actually go and find your target, right? And what I mean by that, because I know you guys have heard me complain about, you know, the random steps that they add in, and that's kind of the problem. It's that it's random. It's not that you're like, you go into it, and the default and most common way of, you know, going after targets is you just go after them. Like, you're told where they are, you go find them, you shoot them, you come back. That's the most common way of doing it. And when a random thing shows up that just arbitrarily adds an extra step to the process, when that just randomly shows up, you're just like, dude, can I just do it the normal way, please? I've done 10 missions where I'm told where it is, I go to the system, I kill the guy, I come back, and you're just gonna arbitrarily add this thing. If they changed the bounty hunting system to where, you know, every time you did a bounty, you had to, there was a relatively involved process of, you know, not only just having to go to a bunch of different places to figure out where your target is, but also, you know, not making it super obvious so that you as the player have to like do some deductive reasoning to figure out, okay, well, this clue is telling me that they're probably here. I can't seem to. I gotta focus on this. Let me get out of here before they shoot me down. Where you as the player have to do a little bit of deductive reasoning to you know, figure out where you're supposed to go. Now, I don't know how they would do that. I have no idea. Trying to do that. I have no idea how they would actually implement something like that. There would need to be some kind of randomized something where it generates clues based off of where the target is, and I would rather the bounty hunter system be something where you don't necessarily know where they're gonna what their situation is gonna be. So, like, you accept a bounty hunting mission, right? And the mission could be somewhere where you have to go to a bar to find the guy and shoot him or detain him or whatever, or they could be you have to go destroy their ship because that's just where they happen to be, and you don't find that out until you find them, right? Like, you follow the clues, and the clues lead you on a breadcrumb trail, and then when you get to them, you find out, oh, they're in a ship. So, and it kind of forces you to be prepared for all scenarios, right? So that's why I like this ship, because this ship is pretty. It doesn't excel at anything, but it's pretty decent at just about everything. So if I need to travel a long distance because our target is far away, I have really good jump range to do that. If I have to go fight somebody with my ship, I'm capable of doing that. Because my ship is pretty decent. I don't remember. I'm capable of doing that because my ship is plenty strong enough to do fights. Alright, that takes care of him. Let's take care of his buddy here. I don't want him to run away. I was trying to not make him run away. I can't get the hits on him. He got away. Damn it. Alright, well, let's head back to our station so we can get this turned in. And move on. I'm confused. I don't understand what's happening. Oh, it must not have switched my target to the next system en route. I don't know why that did that. It's kind of dumb. Okay, but anyways, if you're going to be a bounty hunter, in general, you kind of need to be a jack of all trades, and this ship is really good at being a jack of all trades. You're able to do a bunch of different things in it. It has really good travel range. It has pretty decent. You're able to kit it out decently with combat stuff. It's very maneuverable, so if you need to go down to a planet and look around for things, you can move around, and it's very nimble. And I like the idea of being able to use this ship as a platform for that. It's just the missions are so boring and repetitive, and there's no you don't have to like engage in any real way. It's just the same stuff over and over again. So I think something where we got a system of, you accept a bounty hunting mission. You don't know if it's a ground mission or a ship mission. You actually have to do some kind of like investigative work to figure it out. And then because the expectation is that you're going to be spending a fair amount of time on this mission, the rewards would have to be, commensurate with the amount of time and effort you're having to put into tracking down your target. So ideally, we could sit down and spend 20 to 30 minutes doing one mission, because that mission requires us to, spend 20 or 30 minutes figuring out where the hell we're going. And then we get to the guy, and and that's when we figure out, or maybe we figure out during the process, oh, he was last spotted in his ship in this system, or he was last spotted at a bar in this on this planet, or whatever. Like it would be something where there is some kind of a randomly generated process where it provides you with a reasonable amount of replayability, not because the missions themselves are necessarily completely different every time, but because you don't know beforehand what it is that you're actually going to be doing. And, they could probably implement some kind of AI solution that just generates a mission for you. That generates a mission that could be a little bit more diverse and complex and things like that. Like, I think if they embraced the whole, AI thing for generating this kind of stuff, you could output something really cool, I think. But my thought is that they're probably doing something exobiology related, because they took all that time to do the storyline. So realistically, I'm expecting that we're going to do some kind of Deep Space Carrier series in the future, unless the new feature happens to be some kind of massive bounty hunter upgrade. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. You can join as a member for early access to videos, or if you just want to leave us a one-time tip, there's that thanks button down there for you. I also have PayPal and Patreon links for those of you who prefer to go that route. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.